Tonight, investigators have completed the investigation into the April mass shooting at an Indianapolis FedEx ground facility, a shooting that left 8 people dead.
Yeah, on April 15th, 19-year-old Brandon Scott Hull killed 8 people and wounded 5 others at the FedEx Ground Plainfield Operations Center. That's on the west side, south of the airport. Hull, a former employee there, died by suicide following the shootings. Well, in a news conference today, IMPD Chief Randal said investigators spent the past 3 months trying to figure out the why of this shooting.
WRTV's Stephanie Wade was there, and she breaks down the information now coming to light.
After months of investigation, conducting more than 100 interviews and issuing dozens of search warrants, FBI and the U.S. Department of Justice officials announced there was no perceived motive other than an act of suicide in the attack at a FedEx facility.
The why is still unknown. In this specific incident, that's something that only the shooter honestly knows.
Tonight, police say the attack that left 8 dead and 5 injured in April did not appear to be racially or ethically motivated. Federal and local officials say evidence shows the shooter, 19-year-old Brandon Scott Hull, had suicidal thoughts almost daily and had attempted suicide on more than one occasion. Plus, that preparation for the attack began 9 months prior. It was 11 p.m. on April 15th when investigators say Hull began firing randomly outside the facility and then entered the building where he continued shooting. He died by suicide following the shootings.
BAU assesses that this was an act of suicidal murder in which the shooter decided to commit suicide in a way which he believed would demonstrate his masculinity and capability while fulfilling a final desire to experience killing people.
Officials say he had considered other targets for the attack, but chose the FedEx location because he was familiar with it. Hull was a former employee who was fired when he failed to return to work last October.
There was no indication that there was any animosity towards the Sikh community or any other group for that matter.
The Sikh coalition has questioned whether race played a part in the attack, as 4 of the 8 victims were members of the Sikh community.
We would like to see how they got to this conclusion.
The coalition believes bias could still be a factor and would like to hear from police how they were able to rule it out.
He knew FedEx holds a large workforce that is people of color, including Punjabi Sikhs. So he knew who he would be targeting as he was contemplating the different locations and the one that he settled on.
IMPD Chief Randal says they will do their best to review this incident and make sure tragedies like these won't happen again.
All Americans deserve a safe place to work and live, and in Indiana, that's no different. Our officers will continue to do their best to make sure that those people who are working are able to do that safely.
Stephanie Wade, WRTV.